Looks like. Let me check if we are live on YouTube or not. I think. Yep, we are good. So let's start. All right. So today we have someone who is a friend of Rocket Hub and is one of the best WordPress guys out there. He is someone who has built Flowmatic, which is an integration plugin for WordPress, and he's back again with a banger for us. This time, he's solving the problem of creating MCP servers, which will benefit millions of individuals. So, first of all, Nitin, welcome back to Rocket Hub, and thank you for your time again. And it's good to see you here, dropping great products for us and for the community. So, thank you again for coming.
Hey Karan, thanks for onboarding GetMCP as well. Yeah, we got a lot of love from Rocket Hub when we launched Flowmatic on Rocket Hub. So I'm sure GetMCP will get that much love as well.
Perfect. So, Nitin, first question, um, what prompted you to do this? Because I think you could have done a lot of the things. Why did this specific thing about MCP come into your mind? Because we already know that Flowmatic's MCP exists, which is your product.
Yeah, when we were implementing Flowmatic MCP server, we faced a lot of issues with connecting external applications and like other integrations we are using. So people were interested in using that particular app's MCP server, but when we reached to the founders, when we reached to the developers, hey, are you providing the MCP server? Our users are asking, and the answer we got were actually surprising, as no one was uh, interested to put their resources on creating the MCP servers because it is a new thing first of all, and the specifications of MCP will keep changing,
Oh,
and yeah, and it is still changing. The last one was just changed on 28th July, and it was the one of the biggest update they ever shipped for the MCP specification. And there was one more thing that kept them step behind creating from MCP server was the authentication.
all right,
They had to build a completely new system for the entire MCP server, and all of that things were kept pushing them back. And still, a lot of users are not able to connect their applications to MCP servers. That just because the app developer is not providing the MCP server yet.
mm,
So we thought if we make it easy for them to create an MCP server, right? Similarly to what we are doing in Flowmatic.
right.
So that's where we kick the idea of GetMCP and we start working on it.
And I think in WordPress, you are the first one to do this, right? Because we have seen
Yeah,
others,
we
but they're not robust at all. They are just doing it for the sake of doing it. But you went deep because you knew WordPress as like the full ecosystem, which powers right now 50% of the internet.
yes, yes. The reason we started with WordPress was the Flowmatic was on our WordPress and lots of users were using it already. So we started with WordPress creating MCP server first, and the reason we made the first version of GetMCP on WordPress was the same that we started on WordPress and we know ups and downs for the servers and authentication and everything. And
Perfect.
the most important thing I wanted to announce here today that we also have been working on the Laravel app for GetMCP and it will be released next week. So you will have both versions.
And
WP version will.
exactly, and this is a surprise which I got to know yesterday itself. And
Yeah, actually, but the team told me, hey, we are almost. I just wanted to get an update of the Laravel app that we were planning to use, maybe in 15 to 20 days. But the team said, hey, we are already near to testing phase, and I thought, hey, that's a good news.
yeah, of course, it's a good news. I think folks who were talking about, oh, why only for WordPress? Why not further? So,
Yeah,
believe me,
lot of users
Nitin has
were.
already solved it for everyone who is not on WordPress right now.
Yeah, that's the reason, and a lot of users are scared too when they say WordPress only. They think it is for WordPress if they need to maintain WordPress as standalone. But lifted that one barrier as well, and GetMCP is ready for you to as a standalone app and
Yeah.
on WordPress as well. Whether you want to use on WordPress, whether you want to use a standalone server, it's
Yeah.
ready. And it
Perfect.
will be ready by the next weekend mostly.
I think that's the quickest turnaround for this kind of thing, because people, they announce that there's a new feature support, but then that takes weeks and months. But you're doing it within a week, which is amazing. So I think
No,
that's the
actually,
good
it's not
news.
within a week. We were working since when we shipped our version 1.0 of GetMCP, and
Wow.
we know what people are asking for Chromatic. They were still
Correct.
asking for a standalone version of Flowmatic. So we know people are going to ask for GetMCP standalone version as well. So we started working back in June as well, June itself. So
Hmm.
and it was around 2 months work. We are
Wow.
shipping next week. Yep.
Amazing. Yeah. So you kept a surprise from everyone, which is great.
Yeah, actually, I was
Um,
surprised as well to know the app development was almost done.
Great. Amazing. Cool. So I think it's time, everyone is interested to see get MCP backend. How does it all work? How does the
Yes.
SaaS version, which is, the where you download everything, you do all the engineering part, and then in WordPress, how does it look like? So feel free, the stage is yours, Nitin, to showcase everyone this magical thing you have built.
Yeah, sure. Let me share the screen so I can showcase it. Share screen.
Perfect.
The window is okay.
Yep.
Allow.
You can see it. If you can zoom in a bit into your desktop.
Yeah, it is a large screen. Okay,
One more zoom.
one more. Okay, it is
This is
visible now.
perfect. Perfect now.
Okay, get. Let me start from the dashboard. Yes. So that's on the dashboard. As you see, you got the number of total servers, number of total tools from those servers, the number of API calls made to the servers, and average response time your MCP tool call is has ever get on your server. We have prepared two servers for you to see how it works, and how we can set it up. I
Yep.
will explain first what are the admin pages here, and then
Perfect.
I will go with one by one,
Let's do it.
explaining these two servers. Okay, so on the servers page, you first get a blank screen with no servers status. Then you just need to create one server. You create a server. You gave it a name. Let's say uh, my app, and create a server. Now you are instantly redirected to the server settings page. Here you get your server URL instantly. That this is the server URL you need to connect with your Cloud Desktop, Cloud Code, Cursor, Windsurf, VS Code, OpenAI, or any other AI client you are using, like HyperAgent or even 11 Labs and etc. On everything, every app, AI client app that connects your MCP server, you can just use this URL. There are config files we prepared for every server based on their configuration requirements, and you can just copy this configuration file, follow the instructions, and set up your server. That's it. The next is the settings panel where we have divided multiple settings and the setup requirements based on their category. So the general one is for your server base details, like your server name. You can change the name here. You can change the slug here if you require. You can keep the server active, or maybe If you are just testing this one and want to create another one, you can deactivate this one. You can set the logo for your backend purpose only. This logo is not being shared with anyone. So this is just for your visual purpose. Now let's go to the tools. Okay, so this is your MCP tools that are being attached to your server. There are five ways, one, two, three, four, five, six ways to import your existing tools, existing APIs. So the one which is mostly used is the COL command, as it helps you to create single MCP tool. Okay, so if you want to just test how it works, you go to your API documentation, grab the COL command from your API documentation, paste it here, and pass. It will give you the app, the tool configuration screen. You can import from Open API specifications. Again, if you have the content sitting in your GitHub repository or somewhere, you can just copy the contents. If you have a JSON file, you can upload it here, or if you have an URL, you can just paste the URL here, and GetMCP will fetch the content from that URL and parse the tools for you. Let's see if I have a one URL. Open API. Yeah, I have one from 11 Labs. Let's see how it works. Okay, so this is the Open API specification from 11 Labs, and I will just parse it. Let's see how it works. Yeah, as you can see, here are the number of tools fetched from the same Open API specification. We just found from the sorry, 11 Labs. Now it's up to you whether you want to keep all these APIs as your tools, or you don't want to delete, you don't want to maybe you don't want the history items, you can just deselect them. There's one more delete voice, you don't need it. You can just deselect those that you don't need, or maybe you don't have time to configure the voicing and such things, so you can just skip them. Now it will
Hmm.
import only 12 tools out of those 19.
Wow.
Okay, so let's see how the tool import works. Okay, see, 12 tools are created. Now you can examine each tool here. Let's say you want to first test, get the general items, you edit the tool and you can see which parameters are added here. This is a get request, so it doesn't have any parameters. Let's go back and create text to speech. Yeah, this one should have some parameters. Yeah, text, voice settings, and stability. These are the parameters passed by the OpenAPI specification we just used. And if you want to test this, you can test the individual tool here without connecting to, yeah, without connecting to cloud core, cloud desktop, anything. You can just fill these details and it will run actual MCP server call from the backend, and you will see the results here. I don't have the authentication set up here right now for 11 Labs, so I will show you another one that I have configured for you.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the tools creation and editing section. So
Right.
let's say you don't want to enable, you don't want these tools to be shown to users, or maybe yourself. You just select multiple tools and click
Mm.
disable here, and those tools will be disabled.
Nice.
Yep, you can just select them again and enable them. They will be enabled here. By default the tools are all disabled, so you can test them individually.
Right.
Now, export tools. This is one of the more many questions asked by
Hmm.
users previously. They want to move the app from one server to another server, or maybe one site to another site when they were just using when we were just on WP plugin. So this is where you can export your tools.
Hmm.
If you export the tools, you get a JSON file that you can go to import again, and from GetMCP export.
Yeah.
So you just need to, yeah, you just need to import that file, and you will get all your tools configured here. Now, the one thing that we kept aside from the export is the server settings. Sorry, server authentication. You
Hmm.
still need to yes, you still need to configure this by hand when you import those tools on your new server. Sorry.
Got it.
The next one is skills. Now this is the most important part. Most people know what skills are,
Hmm.
and as you can you might have observed that many users suggested that you can just convert your API to skills and use it in your AI, like Cloud or Cloud Code, or let's say OpenAI Codex. But what they don't actually get is the skills can be used inside your MCP server as well. And you can't just use skills to distribute your MCP server or the specific thing with your team. The skills might contain your authentication data like bearer token API keys as well. So
Yeah.
you can share this skill, and you can uh, update everyone.
Right.
So if you have MCP server, you can just share the URL, enable or disable the tools you don't need, and
Right.
every user, whether it's your team member or whether
Yeah.
it's your end user,
Yeah.
they will have to use your own API keys, their own bearer tokens from their account.
Right.
Okay, I will go to the authentication and explain it later. Just wanted to share what skills can be implemented here,
Right.
or what can you do with the skills within your MCP server.
Before
The
we Nitin, before we go into the next section, I also want you to like clear out the air about when you told that people confuse skills with they can do it themselves, right? They think that
Yes.
everything can be done by themselves. So I want you to clear that myth
Mhm.
that what is the benefit of an MCP server, which like and how no, it's not a cup of tea for everyone to build. So if you can clear that air so people know that this is something which is cannot be wipe coded, number one. Number two, it's not easy to replicate. Number three, it requires a lot of technical knowledge. And number four, it's something that people should have. So if you can get that information out to people, they would know that they need to get MCP today.
Yeah, they can create this. Let's see, if you are vibe coding anything, if you can vibe coding an entire app, you can vibe code the MCP server as well. But again, when you are coming to MCP server, it's not a fixed API documentation. It's not a fixed API that you can rely on. It keeps changing their
Right.
specifications. It keeps changing their authentication methods. It keeps changing their uh, it keep duplicating the existing MCP specifications as well. So if you are using a particular MCP server with particular specification, that okay. Now let's say you are using it for month, 2 or 3, and they upgrade to another improvement or something new feature in the MCP server by the MCP Foundation, and you have no idea what is new or what is deprecated. You keep using the MCP server, it is deprecated. Your AI client does not know it is deprecated. It just sends a call, it receives the response,
Yeah. Yeah.
and now it suddenly stops working. You have no idea why it's not working. You go to OpenAI Codex again, rebuild the thing from scratch again based on the new API specification, and then start using it for the another 2 to 3 months.
Yeah.
So this is what happens when you wipe code MCP server.
Right.
I'm not uh, saying that you can't wipe code MCP server. You can, but there are things replicated by us as well when we were working on the MCP servers for Chromatic, and we have a team who is constantly working on the
Hmm.
research and development for the MCP specifications
Right.
and all the related tools. So you just don't need to worry about any specification game going deprecated, any specification or any new features are
Correct.
being added to the MCP server. Your MCP server will keep working endless. That's the main difference why we build GetMCP and why we have not just recorded a tutorial to wipe out the MCP.
Right. Cool. So I think yeah, that clears out the air, and thank you so much for doing that. Yeah, I think we can now move to authentication.
Yep. So the next one is the resources.
Yeah.
In the resources, it is okay. The WP queries for WordPress plugin. We will be showing it here again. So the resources is what your MCP server, your AI client will know. Okay, so
Yeah.
instead of just depending on what your MCP server can call, your
Yeah.
API, your API. So your API might not know what your product is all about.
Yeah. Correct.
So the resources adds you that gap. The resources remove that gap from your MCP server. When your AI client talks to your MCP server, it asks if you have any resources.
Yeah.
GetMCP provides all those resources you add here to your AI
Hmm.
client, and they know that hey, this app is for this particular things. This can do these many things as well. So the information you feed here is instantly available to your AI clients, and your AI clients will know what or it will intelligently know what call or tool he should it should
Right.
call to.
Correct. Makes sense. Yep. I
You
think
can.
that's amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah, we have
Um.
covered all these things that MCP Server Foundation has provided into their main documentation, and
Right.
which is not possible to cover these all things into one as a feature inside what we have did in Flowmatic.
Right.
So
Great.
next one is prompts.
Right.
You can add some prompts here that your MCP server will show you when you ask it about, let's say, what you can do with my MCP server.
Hmm. Right.
So people sometimes forget, or people sometimes don't know what to ask to the MCP server.
Right.
So these prompts will help them. These are just reusable templates.
Right.
So if you have some dynamic tags in there, like you want to add a person's email to your CRM that you have connected to your MCP server, you can write a prompt here. Your AI will show you, hey, you can do this, and you just need to provide me you can personal email. Then you just need to
Right.
provide the email, and your AI will convert that to a replace that email within your dynamic tag from your prompt,
Correct.
and that prompt will be sent to your tool, to your AI, and it will parse that data and pass the parameters to your tool to execute.
Correct.
Now the next and most important part is authentication.
Right.
By default, if you have an open API, or let's say you are using some external API that has no authentication, like weather forecast or the one we have created, I will show you later. So currency conversions apps, etc. So you don't need to provide any authentication. You
Hmm.
can just keep it as none, and it won't ask you for anything.
That's
The next
amazing.
is bearer token. We provide a field here for test credentials. This is for you only as an admin of the site or GetMCP. When you go to the chats, when you go to the test tool, you need a bearer token or whatever the authentication is configured. So the call will be successful. So these the test credentials will only use when you are doing the testing inside GetMCP.
Mm.
When you are connecting MCP server to Cloud Core, Cloud Desktop, Cursor, etc., you have to provide the authentication in the configuration there.
Right.
Then we have API key. It works same as well. You can and provide the API key name. Some has X API key. Some have just API key. You can provide it in with a header or query parameter depending on your API documentation. The
Right.
next is basic authentication. Here's what you can connect the external WordPress site.
Wow.
Okay, so let's say you are going to connect external WordPress site. You can add your WordPress site username and password here,
Mm.
and it will try to connect your WordPress site through a basic authentication.
Mm.
Unless you are providing a bearer token, which is your WordPress application password.
Right.
If you want to use the existing credentials, existing username and password, you can just enter the existing username and password here, and GetMCP will connect through REST APIs or the any of document API endpoints you have configured. So
Mm.
the basic. Now the next and the most important is OAuth 2.0. This is how you configure the OAuth applications like GitHub, Google.
Right.
If you are using say Google Calendar and you want to
Mm.
create MCP server for yourself, you can just create an app in Google Console, get the credentials like client ID, client secret, and the scopes required. Save the
Yeah.
authentication, and when you authenticate your app in or when you add the MCP server to Google, let's say Cloud Desktop will automatically redirect you to the authentication page.
Mm.
It will first redirect you to your GetMCP site. GetMCP will see what configuration you have for this app or this server URL, and based on the authentication type, it will do the verification or it will redirect you to the authorization URL. Let's say if you are using Google, you will be asked to log in to your Google account, then give the permissions, and then it will redirect back to the GetMCP. GetMCP will store the access token given by Google or any app you have connected
Yeah.
right inside your site,
Mm.
whether it is standalone or whether it is WP site.
Yeah.
Your access token is never shared with your AI. Your bearer
That's
token,
nice.
yeah, your bearer token is shared with your AI when you are passing through the header. But when you are using auth authentication, your access token is completely secret on your site. How it works when AI client sends a call, it sends a tool call to your MCP server. Get MCP read the authentication type first, then it finds the data from access token from the database. It is encrypted. Again, it decrypts it while sending the API call to your endpoint,
Right.
and that's it. The authentication here completely managed on
Mm.
your Get MCP site if you are using the OAuth authentication. If you are using anything else like basic
Mm.
basic authentication or API key or bearer token, you will have to let's say let's me switch to bearer token. Okay, so I will add something here, and you will see if you are passing it to the Okay, I have to save it, and then it will regenerate. Yeah. If you see
Mm,
now,
mm,
here's a header parameter added,
yeah,
and this is how you need to pass the header. Sorry, the bearer token from your AI. If you are using the config file, if you are using the cursor,
right.
so you need to pass these credentials
Mm,
from your config file. This is
correct.
for you. This is for your end users. If you are hundred, if you have hundreds of users, the configuration or the authentication test credential you added here is
Mm,
never used by any of those users.
wow.
So they need to provide their own API
Own
key.
KPI key. Mm,
Yeah, they need to provide their own bearer token to connect to your MCP server.
right.
This is for when you are using GetMCP to create your MCP server for your
Mm,
application.
right. So you also taken care of the security aspect of the app, because according to me, the API keys are the most vulnerable things right now on the internet. If you see what happened with OpenClaws access
Yes,
when
yes, yes, yes. That's the main reason why we
yeah,
focus on the authentication
correct.
mostly. And
Correct.
when people build their MCP servers,
Mm,
they are providing their API keys into their configuration files.
right.
And yeah, and if you search the GitHub repo
It's
that most
available.
of the users are using, you get tons of open API keys.
API keys, yeah. And yeah, that's something they don't realize, and then it's too late for them to correct it because it's already out in public.
Yeah, it's already public, and by the time they recognize that their API key is shared on GitHub, they already have got chats for hundreds of others.
Amazing.
Same thing
um
happens when you are using skills instead of
yeah,
MCP server. On
right.
skills, what you have to do, you have to prepare all the CURL commands, CURL script that your AI can understand what endpoint to call and what parameters to pass. Again, if it calls to if it has to call your endpoints, if it has to call the parameter pass the parameters, it
Mm,
also has to know what authentication has to pass.
right.
So if you are using the skills, you are exposing the API keys, bearer tokens openly.
Correct.
So that's
um
why you need to
Secure it,
secure
and
your
authenticate.
credentials using header authentication, etc. That goes to the configuration file environment files of the particular app you are using,
Correct.
like cursor or and yeah, that's
And
it.
also when we're talking about security right now, there's a question from Abhishek. I just show in the stream. It says, what are the
Okay.
safeguards to make sure system is up all the time?
What are the safeguards to make sure system is up all the time? It's your server.
Yeah,
As long as your server is up all the time, system will be up all the time.
perfect. There's one more question from I'll just take it on the screen. What if my target platform has its own MCP? Should I wrap it into get MCP locally and communicate with my MCP that will forward request? What if my target MCP or API changes after I
Yeah,
create my
if
MCP?
you have if your target app already has an API, sorry, MCP server,
Hmm.
first thing you don't need get MCP. To be honest, you can use the MCP server provided by your app.
Yeah,
Second thing, why you need get MCP?
yeah,
When you are concerned about what API calls are being made or what data is being passed from your chat to your MCP server or your app,
right.
if you are worried about that thing, you can use MCP, get MCP. It provides you logs of everything. I will show you the logs next.
Yeah,
Yeah,
perfect.
that's it. Yes.
Cool. Amazing. So while you are checking that out, there's one person, his name is Freddy. I think you know him. He
Yeah.
asks a question: do you have the opportunity to check the way to get the repos like the one we're working on?
Yeah, we actually I have instructed my team to see whatever we can do to support him already.
Hmm.
But what GetMCP or any MCP server works based on is your REST APIs, not your GitHub repos right now.
Right.
So if you have like you are documenting your API keys or sorry your APIs or REST APIs into your GitHub repository,
Hmm.
you just need to export that somewhere that like Open API or Swagger.
Mm.
So it will generate a fixed just one JSON file that you can just import to your GetMCP.
Correct. Amazing. Yeah, I think that's good, Freddy. So take note. Team Fluomatic and Team Get MCP are already working on your request, which you have put out. So I think that's a good thing. Cool. So I think till now we also get all the questions, so we don't have any more questions till now. Good.
Okay, sure. Let's get back to our demo.
Perfect. Yeah.
Okay, again, the inspector we added for testing how your calls with the inspector will get to execute and what your inspector expected to see. So since the latest specification has removed these initialize and ping calls completely, it is become stateless with just one call maximum.
Hmm.
So these first two are worthless now. So you can skip sorry inspector right now. Now coming to the settings of the server, rate limiting. If you are using an API that has rate limits based on their documentation, or you are a developer of the app and you want to rate limit the MCP calls to your API server, you can just set the limits here. An MCP server will throw a 403 error or
Hmm.
whatever the API want to return. Timeouts, again, this is a PHP setting that how long the execution can be run on your
Hmm.
server. Connection variables. This is when your app has an API based on a custom domain or let's say what we say server server locations
Hmm.
like what MCP get Mailchimp does. Mailchimp provides you a connection domain based on the server location they choose or they assign to your account, right?
Yeah.
So you can set here add variable. Let's say it is a domain server or what is custom domain you add the variable from the client header and just save the settings. You will get to know when you are passing yeah when you are passing the parameters from your configuration file of cloud desktop or cursor, you just need to configure here what your custom domain is or what parameter patch parameter you want to use. You can then use that parameter in your tool endpoint setup. So that
Perfect.
that thing also we have covered. Many uh, applications like Fresh Days, Bold Days, Mailchimp, or the new one that was on Lifetime deal recently was Nifty PM
Hmm.
project
Nifty
management tool.
PM. Hmm.
Yeah, they do provide custom domains, and you can use your domain for API calls as well. So this one feature facilitates all your those API endpoints.
Perfect.
Now the cross origins. Let's say you want to use MCP server internally from set of your website only. So you can add the cross origin domains here, and the MCP server will only allow the calls that are originated from these domains. So this is for calls and the cross-domain origin request
Hmm.
for using MCP server internally, and the PI redaction. This
Yeah.
is when you are talking with your AI and your API response, like if your API responds with emails and the personal data.
Hmm.
So API, the PI redaction will remove those data with placeholders.
Yeah.
So hey, this is the email written by this. There has to be an email written by the API. So
Correct.
it does not open the data with your clients, with you, or visible to you as well. That's for the privacy concerns.
Right.
And the danger zone is here if you want to delete the server.
Yeah, I think yeah, you don't want to go into that area. Yeah, I think this is very interesting, and I've personally never seen anyone going into it this depth about something which is very important for the future, which is MCP. And you know what? The funny thing is, many people don't even know what an MCP is.
Yeah, there are lots of people who just I see lots of people don't still want don't talk about AI.
Yeah,
If we are
yeah,
talking about AI, hey, is there any AI impact on your business? They say no,
yeah,
don't talk about the AI. They just keep
yeah.
away from the AI.
Correct.
They're
Like
afraid
people,
of using AI as well.
people think. I mean, for example, people they started slowly talking about Zapier and all the integration technology which came in like years ago, right? So MCP is just an evolution, right? Which means it's connecting apps to talk into your Claude and Chat GPT and all those LLMs which you're going to use in the future, anyways. So why not use it with the tools which you already have and use GetMCP to like connect those apps in case they don't have any MCP server of their own or they haven't built yet, right?
Yep.
So this is something which is only going to save you time and money as well as get you like a lot of return value because connections today is very important, right? For these things to work
Yeah.
together.
If
Otherwise, the
you just go
workflows don't
to
serve.
Sumo Marketplace, let's say,
Yeah,
or even if you are looking into the comments on Rocket Up deals as well, if you
correct.
might have observed 10, like 2 3 people out of 10 are asking for the MCP.
Of course.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's the reason why people are looking forward to MCP. And
Mhm.
as many users are adapting AI, they are looking for the MCP itself because they don't want to go to Zapier, they don't want to even use Flowmatic to connect their app and interact with the AI.
Right. Yeah, and that shows that how convenient we need to make people's lives. And if you see this, a lot of tools and products, their roadmap has changed. Their roadmap priorities have changed. Now MCP sits on either one of the top two um, you know uh,
Yep.
the values, the things, the
Yeah.
items they have to
Now
work
with
on.
the GetMCP, the one say if we are talking about Flowmatic, there was a thing why people are not ready to adapt initially, or why people still want to stick with Zapier.
Yeah,
They need to spin a server
yeah,
to use Flowmatic. Okay, now for using GetMCP, let's say you're an app developer. You don't need to spin another server. You already have a server. You are not using the resources provided by the hosting company itself. So you just need to spin a single subdomain mcp.yourapp.com.
mm,
Install whether you install WordPress or whether you use the standalone in GetMCP app. You just need to install on a subdomain, and your entire app will become available to any AI your end users are using.
correct. Great. Great. So I think this was the whole demo of the dashboard, which is
Now
present.
there are
You want to
this
show the WordPress?
it's just a servers demo. We have
Yeah,
still a few things in. I will come back
yeah,
to chats later. Let's
yeah.
set templates first.
Oh,
So
yeah.
to get you started, we have around 14 pre-built templates with some tools, or let's say some of the most used tools. We have Open Meteo with the weather forecast. We have GitHub, Stripe, what is Slack, Notion, SendGrid, Twilio, HubSpot. We have even WordPress for the post, get post, create post, etc. Same for the WooCommerce, create order, get order details, etc. You can again you can extend it the tools number of tools anytime. The Google
Right.
Calendar, Airtable, and Mailchimp, etc. are just there to get you started. These are not the fully built applications or fully
Right.
built MCP servers. They are
Right.
there to get you started. How the configurations can be done, how the server are configured, how the tools can be created, or what the tools
Yeah.
requires like parameters and etc. The next thing we have implemented is the analytics. That's where every user would like to go at least once a week.
Right.
So you see how many tokens are consumed by your AI, how many tokens are saved, how many tokens are delivered. So this is input and output tokens count. Calls over time, how you are using MCP server with your AI. Top tools, which tools you are using most, or what tools are being used by your AI most.
Right.
So this is mostly for the app developers so that they can optimize that particular API
Mm.
on their servers. So let's say get weather forecast is on hash one, and lots of people are using that endpoint only. So they can optimize it like they can cache the results for individual users and return it instantly. So this will help them optimize their API as well.
Makes sense.
And
Perfect.
the response times are calculated based on your API response time.
Mm.
So it has nothing to do with your MCP to MCP server or your AI to MCP server calls. It is what your API response responded within how much time span.
Right.
The client breakdown, you can easily know from here which MCP clients are being used. Like the get MCP is what we
Mm.
use for our chats. MCP remote, it is when the MCP server you are connected does not provide a fixed value for the client name.
Mm.
Like when you are using cursor, when you are using cloud desktop, cloud code,
Yeah.
it does not provide fixed value for the client name parameter for the server fetch call. So that goes under MCP remote. And unknown is when you are using custom MCP servers, MCP clients.
Right.
Like when you are using it inside Get like N10 or Flowmatic or let's say in Zapier,
Mm.
they don't does not they are not recognized clearly, so it is unknown. Okay, so you can check your analytics for the last 7 days, 30, 90, or even custom date range as well.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the next one is calls. This is where you get to know how you are or your users are using the MCP server. Let's say you are using MCP server for testing, or you are using MCP server and some tools fail to respond. I don't have any failed result. Let me statuses errors. Yeah, I have. Let's say
Mm.
there was an error. You can just go to the logs and find why this was failed. The supplied API key is invalid. Is it
Wow.
visible?
Yep, it is.
Yeah. So the reason was the supplied API key is invalid. So This tool execution was failed because the user supplied API key was invalid.
Oh,
This is what
nice.
you get to know when the tool
If thing fails, yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah,
when
yeah.
the tool fails to execute.
Face
And
to
this is
execute.
not
Yeah,
possible when you are using the custom or wipe coded MCP server.
right.
The tool gets succeeded, the tool throws an error only if
Hmm.
your API endpoint provides it.
Makes sense. Perfect. I have
Is it?
one
Yes.
yeah, I have one question from I think the template part of things,
Okay.
which is asked by Freddy,
Hmm.
which is importing from GitHub MCP. Can that be
Okay.
done?
Importing from GitHub MCP. GitHub MCP is the template we shown is not for the GitHub MCP. Sorry, GitHub own MCP. It is for when you are connecting your APIs or GitHub APIs to build your own MCP server.
Hmm.
It can be used for list repositories, manage issues, or create pull requests or create issues on your GitHub repositories.
Yeah,
GitHub also provides their own MCP as well.
yeah,
This is for your own personal use if you want to use specific number of tools or you don't want to use GitHub MCP.
yeah. That's perfect. So hope Freddy, you got your answer, and then yeah, we have Interpreet here who has joined in. He
Okay.
has a question about can we connect Rapid API attached and also connection with no code backend.
Yeah, the no code backend is possible as far as I checked their API documentation last night. It was based on Swagger.
Okay.
Yeah, so you just need to export the API documentation
Hmm.
JSON file from your no code API.
Mm-hmm.
It will provide you a JSON API documentation file, and you just need to import to your GetMCP. That's it.
Got it. Perfect. I think so. Yeah, this is easy. Yeah.
And as for
Anything
the
in.
connection with Rapid API, let me
Yeah.
check it quickly.
Yeah. The thing is,
Rapid.
anything integration related, Nathan can solve it out. So there's no like, oh, can you do with this? Can you do
Yeah,
with
if you
that?
have REST API, you have the MCP server.
Yeah.
Yeah, REST API, Rapid API can also be connected.
Perfect. So I think in the breath you got your answers. This all what you requested can be done using GetMCP.
Yep. As long as your API provides REST API,
Yeah.
you are
Then
covered
the
with custom MCP server. Sorry,
oh,
GetMCP server as well.
perfect. That's awesome. Cool. So I think yeah, for now we are done with the questions. So there's no more questions. So if you want to like show more things,
Okay,
please feel
so yeah,
free to
if you
share.
want to see what the call succeeded,
Yeah.
if you see this call was succeeded just within 451 milliseconds. So that's the time it actually took for the app to uh, execute the
Executing.
MCP tool call and your call to your server and get the response from the server and pass back to the MCP to client. That's the entire time response time it took 451 milliseconds. This is a single VPS server we are using for testing the Laravel app, and
Hmm.
that's how it's faster.
Perfect.
And the
Cool.
next one is settings. Okay, the settings. These are the global settings, and you can also uh, change these settings per server level as well.
Wow.
The data retention, the logs retention here it is.
Yeah.
If you want to see like last 90 days logs, if you want to see just like past 7 days log, you can change the number here and it will automatically keep running the data, keep removing the data older than these days. The
Got it.
response logging, let's say you are debugging your MCP server, you can turn this on and it will log every response given by your API.
Hmm.
So let's say you are testing out the API and you want to see how the responses are generated, you can just turn it on, see in your go back to your logs, and here it will show you the log response data. I have it turned off by default and I have not turned it on here. I will turn it on and show you when, since we are now going to chat.
Yep.
Okay, so the response data is turned on. Now the license page. Here you can see the number of sites your license provides, and it will keep your information synced with our server as long as it is active license.
Right.
And the help section is there as well. I guess, yeah, it gets you to our support sites documentations. The
Mm.
frequently asked questions FAQs are there to help you with quick FAQs like how to connect cloud desktop and all.
Right.
Okay.
And even for everyone watching this, Nitin and the team are also very responsive. So if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to them. They would be happy to answer.
Yep. Now let's go to the most important and most,
Let's do
I guess this will be the most used thing as well.
it. Eh,
Yeah, because you don't need to connect your MCP server to your cloud desktop, cloud cursor, etc.
yeah.
to test
Correct.
how it behaves in real time. Okay,
Right.
so I am on my travel intelligence
Hmm.
MCP server and I have connected my cloud account here.
Yeah.
You can, yeah, progress, yes. You can connect your cloud account, your chat GPT, Grok, Gemini, or even you can connect the open router as well.
Yeah.
These AI providers will be used to test your API, your MCP server. And if your MCP server requires an authentication, you can provide it here. Like I have connected my Calendly account here, and you can provide your API keys also here if it is required. And these are the common settings that will control your
Right.
behavior of MCP server executions in this chat screen only. So let's see
Correct.
how it works with our travel intelligence.
Yeah.
Let's say I want to fact about a country from its two letters. Okay. So where are you currently? Current?
I'm in Thailand.
Okay. What is the Thailand's two letter or Thailand? Thailand.
It should be
Let's see
TH.
if it works. Whatever.
Should be
Right?
TH.
TH?
Yeah. That's it. To the two letter.
Okay, this is TH. Let's say TH country good. Thailand, yes.
Yep.
And the facts are official name Thailand, capital is Bangkok, region is East Asia, income level upper middle income.
Yep.
Okay. Uh, Currency conversion. Okay, tell me about the current weather and how much will be INR 10,000 in Bangkok. Let's keep the
Yeah.
Bangkok. I deliberately
Hmm.
misspelled it. Let's see how it was. Okay.
It did.
Did yes.
Yes.
Okay. Weather forecast. Yeah, it is done. Now you if you see the response here, it is actually table markdown format, which we are working on converting to artifacts similar to what Cloud or OpenAPI or ChatGPT shows you, like in table format. So this will be available from the next update.
All right.
If you ever see this in your responses here, it will be converted to table.
Got it.
And the currency conversion is 10,000 INR is 3,439
But
Thailand. Thailand,
BH.
yes.
Yeah,
Is it right?
but yeah, correct. It's Thai. Correct. It's correct. Yep, absolutely.
Perfect. So this is how you can test your MCP server here. It gets you through the actual tool calls.
Yep,
You
makes
can
sense.
see what input is provided, or what input is placed by your AI, and what output is written from your API. This is purely from API to API connection. This is not from GetMCP, or we added something here.
Mm,
This is completely from your API.
makes sense.
Let's start test one more thing with Calendly. New. Now these suggestions are based on the number of tools we have, or let's say no, the tool names. Okay, so let's say get the details of current user, which is me. We don't have the current user endpoint here. The current user details endpoint here. Yes, see,
Perfect.
these are fetched live Calendly. If you see, I
That's
have
cool.
connected my Calendly here.
Perfect. That's cool. All right. This is amazing. This is
Yes,
amazing.
that's how it
Everything
works.
else. Um, and I think there is.
Yeah, and one more thing I wanted to show.
Yeah.
I turn on the logs. See, the responses are logged here. Upstream
Oh
HTTPS.
yes.
So
Yeah. This
this
is
is
what
for
we used to
debugging
get at.
purpose. Yeah, this is for debugging purpose.
Yeah.
What we see in our chat playground is the response that recorded here.
That's perfect.
As long as you are using the chat playground, you can see what responses are being generated. But as soon as you turn off that option to record the responses, you have no idea what responses are going and coming in.
Correct. And there's one more thing before we, wrap up and in the next few minutes, which is about the agencies. Because one thing which we need to see is you have three good agency plans. So if you
Mhm.
can tell people or tell how agencies can use GetMCP
Yeah,
to service their clients, and can they charge extra for doing this service, and how they can make this happen.
yeah, definitely. Let's open our plans first.
Yeah,
Okay, product. I guess I need to switch the screen, or oh, just a second.
yeah, no problem.
Let's get MCP here.
Yep.
Mm-mm-mm. Yeah, share screen. Get MCP. Okay, so let's go to the plans. The agency plans we have. So the tier 3 agency is actually 20 sites. The tier 4 gets you 50 sites, and tier 5 is the most valuable, to be honest, is 200 sites.
Yeah.
Now, how you can use these, how we can use GetMCP to charge your clients, or let's say
Yeah.
build a business out of this. Let's say you have an agency and you have clients who want to use you want to use the apps they are connecting uh, through their cloud code or cloud desktop or cloud web as well, or
Yeah.
chat GPT.
Yeah.
You can create a server for them.
Yeah.
You just need a $5 server for personal use. That will be more than enough. Or you need to spin a server. You need to either install a standalone app or a WordPress site. If their requirement is like they want to maintain a CRM as well, you can just install it like Fluent CRM or anything like that to your WordPress site if you want to provide additional features to your MCP. But if you are using just the MCP server itself that connects to your app APIs. Okay, so if you are using just for the app APIs, you need standalone version of GetMCP. You install it, create the server for the client, and you can charge whatever they want to use.
Got it. Perfect.
Like let's say you want to charge $20 per month, just an example for
Hmm.
using MCP servers. That's more than enough. That
Good.
is four times what you are paying for the hosting. Or even
Absolutely.
if your clients are that much large spenders, then you can
Yeah.
charge them $99 per month as well for using
Correct.
or for creating a customized MCP server for them.
Yeah, and
And
more important thing is to like
the
convince
most
them.
just let me complete this one. The
Yeah.
most important thing is you can connect n number of MCP servers.
Right.
All features, yes. You can create n number of MCP servers. So as long as you are creating this for clients, let's say they use 2 to 3 apps, they don't need to create, pay for 2 to 3 MCP servers individually. You can bundle those MCP servers into your package and sell it.
Absolutely amazing. And yeah, this is guys, and more important thing is to convince the client to do use this, right? Now that's
Yes,
up to the
if you
product and the
create
team to
if you
do it.
create an MCP server and you show the demo to them, hey, you can just talk to AI and it will do these things.
Yeah.
They are using their own AI credentials anyways. You are not getting charged for AI tokens.
Right. Correct. Cool. And this is amazing. I think so. Agency owners looking at this, please go ahead and buy only tier 3, tier 4, tier 5. These are the most valuable brands. And there are people who are asking, can we have more plans than these? I would say if you have 200 sites, then go for that. If you have more, then I think then you use this and then you tell Nitin that, I've oversubscribed and then Nitin can do something for you. But right now, as for now, we don't have any additional plans.
Yep.
In case we receive any more request, then that
Mhm.
okay, we have 500 sites. What should we do? We would then see what can be done. But
Yeah,
right now,
definitely. If we
yeah,
see the increased demand, we can definitely add more plans.
correct. So you need
Not
to
multiple, just one or two, maximum two.
absolutely,
Yep.
absolutely. So you need to
And
go ahead and tell us.
yep, and I guess the cost will also be increased.
Of course. So if you say you want that much, then you have to, and of course, I mean, if you're asking for that much, that many websites, which means you
Yep.
already have a big operation that you're right now
Yes,
handling,
definitely.
and you need to
And
like use this.
now to make the deal sweet as much as possible, we have also uh, implemented the standalone app as well into the
Perfect.
deal itself. So you whether you are using standalone app or whether you are using WP plugin, you don't need a separate purchase.
Right.
Your license quota will be used against the license activations. So whatever you already have, it will be used. If you want more sites, standalone sites, WordPress sites, you can, I guess, they can purchase multiple plans as well if they need.
Yeah. Well, yeah, if you want to like do it, if you have 400 sites, then to get the 200 site license twice. So you would
Yes.
be then able to have it. So it's very simple mathematics. Yeah, that I think that's amazing. There's one more question which is from Inderpreet.
Mhm.
One second, let me show. Anything we can do with RPA tools, example ticket booking setup, even without API using your platform.
Without using API is not possible.
Correct.
Because to create an MCP server, or
You
even if
need
you are
yeah,
connecting to the MCP directly, you need an endpoint to call it.
correct. An endpoint and a starting point.
Yeah.
Perfect. Cool.
So I
Yeah,
guess
go ahead. Sorry.
we are going to update the deal page as well to mention that we are introducing the standalone version and it will be out within a week maximum.
Yeah. Perfect. Definitely we do that, and everyone who asks for it as well, that
Yeah,
where in
definitely.
the
There are a
comments
lot
that
of users who are
correct.
getting backstage due to the WordPress name
Yeah,
and
and we
things.
personally comment and tell you that the standalone app which is
Yep.
built using Laravel is being made live.
Yep.
Perfect. I think the last part was amazing about the agencies and the overall demo and the problem you're solving, Nathan. I think this is something which no one usually sees. The I think the
Yeah,
vision behind it,
that's the most visible gap if you see in
right?
MCP industry. If when the MCP was launched first in October 2024,
Yeah,
it was massively adopted by users, but the servers created by the app developers was again in opposite direction only.
correct.
There were around 10,000 servers created in just 6 months.
Wow, that's insane.
Yeah. So that's the kind of adoption industry is seeing, but developers as developers were not into it because changing API specifications, MCP
Yeah, it's a lot of
specifications,
work.
yeah, the research and development is a lot of thing to go. To be
Correct,
honest, that cost so
correct.
much.
So you solved it. Yeah,
Yep, it is solved now. So go ahead and
perfect,
create your MCP servers. If you are
perfect,
using an app that has APIs but still not providing MCP server, you still go ahead and create your MCP server.
perfect. Cool. So I think go ahead and grab the deal from Rocket Hub. The 10% discount is auto applied on your cart, so you get some benefit out of your deal.
Yes.
And the deal wouldn't be running for a long time. You know how Nitin operates, so he would like to keep it concise, to the point, and very limited time. So go ahead, don't miss this deal. And Nitin, I think it's amazing session. Thank you for taking your time in an evening
Thank you.
on an Indian because it's night for you and a night for me as well. So we will be eating lunch, have dinner with the family, and anything you would want to tell the audience before we wrap this up, or the last statement, something if you want to
Yeah,
share.
just the wrapping up will be if you are not interested or if you are not going to use Get MCP only, I'm genuinely requesting you to use MCP anyhow.
Yeah,
That's the amazing thing if you are using AI.
correct.
If you are using AI tools and you are ignoring the MCP, you are like losing
A lot of
something.
money on the table as well.
Yes.
Perfect. All right, so I think this comes to an end. Nitin, thank you so much for your time.
Thank
Thanks
you. Thanks for
everyone
the
who
opportunity.
joined in. Thanks everyone who joined in today, and those who are watching this session in future, which means when the recording is live on YouTube. Feel free to ask any questions in the comments. There's a deal page, a Rocket Up deal page for GetMCP where Nitin and team are answering questions. Any technical questions you have, there's a Facebook group thread where everyone is answering questions, including me, Charlie, Nitin, and Aditya, who is the co-founder. So please go ahead and post your questions, and the team is available.
Yep.
All right.
Thanks, Karan. Thanks
Thank
for
you
your
so
time.
much, Nitin. Thanks, and I'll see you guys in the next